Who can forget that heart-rending scene from Bimal Roy's legendary film Do Bigha Zameen? Balraj Sahni as Shambhu pulling a creaking, groaning rickshaw on the streets of Kolkata. Panting, perspiring, racing barefoot with another rickshaw carrying the girlfriend of his master. But in this race to earn more and yet more money, the rickshaw loses a wheel and meets with an accident. That was in the year 1953. More than a century and a half after they began their journey in India, these rickshaws can still be seen in the congested lanes and bylanes of Kolkata, pulled by emaciated, impoverished men. Described as the most inhuman and degrading mode of transport, the hand-pulled rickshaw first appeared in Japan in 1868. In fact, the name rickshaw itself was derived from the Japanese word jinrikisha, which literally means human-powered vehicle. Eminent Kolkata-based historian Dr. Chittabratta Palit sheds light on the Chinese connection of the Kolkata rickshaw.
There is a Chinese population in Calcutta who had migrated to Calcutta around 1850s that introduced the rickshaw to the city of Calcutta. And that is because most of these people were artisans from China and they were woodworkers and metal workers. It is pronounced in China as rickshaw and means that kind of a carriage, manual carriage. And it plied in the narrow lanes and bylanes of Calcutta, more suitable for plying in those lanes and bylanes because it is hand-pulled by men and therefore it is easy to maneuver. So it was utilized first of all by the Chinese people in the Chinatown and later then public also.
আমি যে রিস্কাওয়ালা দিন কি এমন যাবে বলি কি ও মাধবী তুমি কি আমার হবে আমি যে রিস্কাওয়ালা
I am a rickshawala goes the popular song by Chandra Bindu, a Kolkata-based band known for their colloquial lyrics highlighting current affairs and cultural phenomena. Japan or China, Kolkata or Shimla, wherever these rickshaws have journeyed, they have gone on to become a way of life and part and parcel of a city or town's ethos. They have gone on to generate an entire corpus of music, literature and cinema. The Phantom Rickshaw is a well-known Rudyard Kipling story about a yellow-panelled rickshaw which haunts Shimla's streets. Then there is the 1936 Chinese classic, The Rickshaw Boy, a novel by Lao She, and its best-selling English version also made into a film, adds Dr. Chittabratta Palit, Emeritus Professor of History at Jadavpur University.
You get a vivid picture of Chinese rickshaw puller in Luson's book, their lifestyle and profile. This was a very hard life there also. You also have some mention in Geoffrey Morehouse's Calcutta, where also the number of people who migrated from Bihar and became rickshaw pullers is vividly quantified and narrated. We have the best book by Dominic Lapierre, who wrote that Joy of the City of Joy on Calcutta, which is actually the biography of a rickshaw puller from Howrah Pilkhana area. And mostly they were recruited as a draft animal, but then they also have their story of joy and sorrow. That's what is called the City of Joy. But there is some tinge of evangelical pity in this Doe's book, which I couldn't like myself. It was also made into a good movie.
For a joyride down memory lane, down the streets of Kolkata of the early 50s, we are joined by the well-known author and journalist Shankarlal Bhattacharjee with his rickshaw reminiscences.
I recall the ladies of the Bengali middle-class families who were so dependent on this vehicle. normally wives and slightly grown-up daughters of a family would go to the matinee show releases of Uttam Shuchitra films, or to the nearest temples, or maybe even to the schools to pick up their children. The hand-pulled rickshaw was a very private kind of vehicle, in the sense that most of the ladies of the time would know some rickshaw pullers by name and where they would be. The thing that really sticks in memory is a kind of dependence that people sort of started feeling. I have never heard about a rickshaw falling into an accident. Rickshaws were very sort of popular with the Anglo-Indian communities who have also vanished from Kolkata. I have seen the Anglo-Indian boys at the end of the day would come home after maybe a couple of pegs, singing to themselves and riding a rickshaw. And even Anglo-Indian girls and ladies were very fond of the rickshaw. The rickshaw had a beautiful access to families. I mean, they knew about which time, who would go from which place to which place. Mm-hmm. And then young kids, 3 or 4 of them, heaped on seats that rickshaws had, going to school all by themselves, because the rickshaw puller was a kind of a guardian soul. He would take them to the school and pick them up from the schools and bring them back. We thought of rickshaw as a lively passing show. I think they were such part and parcel of the scene of those times. You couldn't make a film worth its calling in Bangla if you wanted to do a social film without showing a rickshaw, because that was the thing that people could avail. There is a very, very famous Bengali song composed about a rickshaw puller. Dilip Sharkar sang the song, Ami Riksha Wala, Ami Riksha Wala. Katphata rode, isdhala pothe, ঝড় বাদলেতে শীতে রাতে রিকশা চালাই মোরা রিকশাওয়ালা. The hard life that he has to travel on the asphalt roads in scorching heat, and then they had very little to survive on. Even in winter, they would have to travel in the night time with not much to wrap themselves around, by. And then, of course, there was the rainy season when they actually walked knee-deep waters from one point of place to another point of place.
When we ask Shankarlal Bhattacharya about the gentle music and soft tinkle of the rickshaw bell, his eyes light up with fond memories.
In the middle of the night, we used to hear a rickshaw bell, ting, 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 ting. And we would know who has come back home. There were some people who were very late returners to family. I used to do my studies, at that time of the night. And those bells would tell me that such and such character has come back home. There's another thing about the bell. Supposing a rickshaw came behind you and you haven't noticed it, the small tinkle, you wouldn't be surprised, like a horn would do if a car came behind you.
Shimla was the summer capital of the British rulers, their favourite hill resort. Part of its Raj legacy were the pulled and pushed rickshaws that began plying here in the 1880s. Shimla's steep and serpentine slopes required one rickshaw to be manned by 4 people, says Raja Bhasin, historian and author of several books on Shimla.
It is widely believed that the Reverend Fordyce had brought them in, and it is possible that he had first seen them in Calcutta. And once the rickshaw arrived in Simla, it became the standard mode of transport for just about everybody in Simla. So it was like walking, riding, or taking the human pulled and pushed rickshaw. It was pulled by 2 men, pushed by 2 men, and often enough there would be a 5th person who would come along as a runner and be there to relieve one of the people at any point of time when somebody was tired and needed relieving.
As the rickshaw ran, a bell hanging from the front handle would be constantly rung to keep the pedestrians out of the way. Many of Shimla's elite at that time owned rickshaws, and their status in society was reflected in the attire of the pullers and the distinctive decoration of their carriages. The irony is that while they took care of the livery of these pullers, called coolies, to flaunt their own status, they treated these rickshawalas worse than slaves, says historian Raja Bhasin.
These men lived in horrible conditions. Often enough, the clothes they wore literally fell off their backs. There was no arrangement for proper food, staying, or even keeping themselves clean. They lived in these disease-ridden hovels. It's only in the 1920s, largely due to the intervention of this philanthropist and businessman Rai Bahadur Mohanlal, that conditions for the rickshaw pullers improved in Simla. These men, despite the rain, despite the snow, they may have worn livery. Often enough, they wore uniforms and proper livery, which could be of the house to which they were attached. But despite all those trappings, and in the snow and in the rain, they moved around barefoot and even ran and handled these tricky slopes moving barefoot.
The callous and cruel attitude of the British towards these rickshaw pullers is epitomized in the well-known incident where a rickshaw puller named Jageshwar died as he was kicked by Mansell Playdell, the controller of the Army Canteen Board.
Now this gentleman, Mansell Playdell, who was the head of India's Canteen Board, was hosting a dinner party at his residence close to Chota Simla, and all the rickshaw pullers were waiting outside. And when the time came for the guests to leave and for the rickshaws to take their guests home, one of the rickshaw pullers got tangled up in the sheets in which he was lying down and was probably asleep. His name was Jageshwar. Mansell Playdell lost his temper and started kicking this man, and this man finally died of a ruptured spleen. The other rickshaw pullers went to Rai Bahadur Mohanlal and spoke to him. The police refused to register an FIR, and it was only at Rai Bahadur Mohanlal's instance that the following day a case was registered against Mansell Playdell. Finally, at the end of a widely publicized trial, Mansell Playdell was convicted and sentenced, and he committed suicide in prison.
After independence, these Shimla rickshaws remained in use for about 30 years. They were phased out following a Himachal Pradesh High Court order of 1968, which stopped issuing licenses for them. Unlike Kolkata, this degrading form of human-pulled transport was completely done away with by the end of the 70s. A former rickshaw puller, 80-year-old Tulsi Ram, who has found alternate employment as a porter or sahayak, as they are now called, at the Shimla station, says 4 men pulling 1 passenger was in any case not a viable option for many.
कौन से गांव से आप आए थे यहाँ पर?
दाला मोड़ के पास ही मेरा घर।
अच्छा, नाम नहीं याद आपको?
गांव चंबा नाम है मेरे गांव का।
कितनी उम्र होगी आपकी?
मेरी 80 साल की होगी। मेरा 1936 का जन्म है, तो हम आया 50 के करीब यहाँ। बिल्कुल 14 साल का उम्र था हमारा।
तो उस जमाने में जब आप आए थे तो आपने रिक्शा चलाना शुरू किया था?
किसी के पास काम किया, किसी अफसर के पास काम किया, फिर थोड़े से दिन रिक्शा भी चलाया। हाथ वाला रिक्शा है, एक आदमी यहाँ लगेगा, एक यहाँ लगेगा, 2 बैक साइड में लगेंगे, बीच में अफसर बैठेंगे, 4 लोग लगते हैं।
कितने लोग बैठ जाते थे उसमें?
सिर्फ 1 लोग बैठेगा, 1 बच्चा बैठ गया।
ज्यादा से
हाँ, ये 80 से बंद हो गया था।
78 से शुरू हो गया।
It was with the invention of the cycle rickshaws that puller became driver, and in India these pedal rickshaws hit the roads between 1930 and 1940. Today the cycle rickshaw is the most common mode of transport for small distances and can be seen in almost every nook and corner of urban, semi-urban and even rural India. As per official records, an estimated 6 lakh cycle rickshaws ply in Delhi, providing livelihood for about 1 million young and old migrants to feed their impoverished families thousands of miles away. The Jan Parivahan Panchayat, or People's Transport Council, is a working group of Lokayan, a movement for development alternatives. A study conducted by them says that 90% of Delhi's rickshaw pullers come from the states immediately east of Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Most of these migrants sleep either on their rickshaws or on pavements close to where they can park the rickshaws without fear of them being stolen. Muhammad from Bihar now lives in a small rented room shared with 5 others after spending nearly 20 years on Delhi's pavements. It was only after slogging for 2.5 decades that he could buy his own rickshaw. That too after church charity lent him the money.
किराए पे चला रहे थे, अपना लिए 8,500 का किस चर्च से लिया था ये गाड़ी, तो उसको जो जितना दिया था उसको वापस कर दिए, बाकी गाड़ी अपना हो गया। कागज हमको दे दिया, वापस दिया था वो। उसको से पहले
रोज कमा लेते हो भैया?
यही कमाते हैं, कभी 300 कभी 400 हो जाता है, कभी 250 भी होता है, कभी 200 भी होता है। मेरे साथ में मेरा कोई नहीं है, गांव वाले हैं। एक रूम में जो है ना 5 ठो रहते हैं, 6 ठो रहते हैं।
The Jan Parivahan Panchayat study also reveals that most rickshaw pullers in Delhi are seasonal migrants who take up this work for a few months and return to their villages during the sowing or harvest season. 56-year-old Meherman from Badaयूं says he has been doing so for the past several years. He and many others like him stay in juggies or slums or under a tree with just tarpaulin over their heads.
मेहरबान, आपका कितना उम्र है भैया जी?
56 साल।
56 साल है। कहाँ से आए आप?
ऊपी बदायूं से।
कितना देर हो गया आपको रिक्शा चलाते?
काफी दिन हो गए। हाँ, काफी साल। झोपड़ी में।
यही झोपड़ी है जो बाहर त्रिपाल के नीचे, तब से ऐसे ही रहते हैं?
हाँ, ऐसे रहते हैं।
इसी झोपड़ी में ही रहते हैं। इतनी उम्र आपकी हो गई है, आपको मुश्किल तो नहीं होता चलाना?
अब क्या करो मैडम, मुश्किल होता है तो।
घर पर कोई नहीं है क्या?
नहीं, बेटा है, खेती बाड़ी करते हैं। रेगुलर हम भी नहीं रहते हैं, जैसे 4-6 महीना में 1-आध महीना काम कर गए, चले गए।
मतलब आप थोड़े दिन आते हैं काम करने के?
हाँ, थोड़े दिन खेती बाड़ी में लगा देते हैं, खाद पूरा लग करके।
Manushi Sangathan, a social organization, has been running several campaigns for the rights of rickshaw pullers and others from the unorganized sector. Yet, most of them are still deprived of social security. We speak to Madhu Kishwar, academic activist and founder, Manushi.
If your hospitals don't work, even if you give them health insurance, but these hospitals have inadequate infrastructure, inadequate number of doctors, they all end up going to quacks. Because at least they get it fast, whatever they have to get by way of either symptomatic relief. So you have to have a functioning healthcare system in order to provide somebody health insurance. Similarly, housing. It would be much easier if the government thought of setting up paid dormitories, but dignified, not the rent basera. Today, a rickshaw puller, if he has to rent a juggi in Delhi, even for that, 2,000 rupees a month. You have made even the cheapest and the lowest housing unaffordable for the poor by having very restrictive land laws.
Dr. Amod Kumar, a senior specialist at Delhi's St. Stephen's Hospital, who also works for Eternal Rock, a welfare society, was moved by the unsettling sight of a rickshawala sleeping curled up on a seat half his size. Along with a dedicated team from St. Stephen's College, Dr. Amod Kumar started working on the design of a rickshaw that could double up as a makeshift home.
In the night, we found that a lot of rickshaw pullers were sleeping in a very awkward kind of position, very unhealthy. And in fact, one of the rickshaw puller was almost gasping in his own secretions because his head was, tilted backwards, and he was drunk. And he could have died by secretions itself. Fortunately, we reached and we could clean him and save him. So we tried to find out why rickshaw pullers are not sleeping in the shelters. So they told us that those who have their own rickshaws, they are afraid of these rickshaws being stolen and they cannot leave these rickshaws. So we thought, why not the rickshaw itself should have a place where they could sleep. There's enough space, and by proper planning we could do something.
There were many provisions in this prototype. Besides the convertibility of the seat and backrest of this cycle rickshaw into a 6-foot-long bed with a mosquito net, it had a solar panel to operate a fan, a mobile charging port, a reading light, and a USB player. Aptly named Sukoon, which means relief, respite or rest. This rickshaw is yet to hit the streets, sadly due to a lack of investors.
So there were some problems with that design, which we later realized that apart from this folding bed, all other things were not so necessary for rickshaw pullers. They did not find any value in those things. So we had to remove those.
While this model rickshaw, Sukoon, may take years to actually make an appearance as a viable commercial option, the e-rickshaw has hit Delhi roads. These battery-driven rickshaws were perhaps introduced more to reduce the pollution in the city than to cut down the drudgery of these struggling men. But yes, these e-rickshaws are eco-friendly, they run faster, and most importantly, the driver does not have to struggle. Middle-aged Satvir, who used to be a vegetable vendor at one time, took a 4-year loan to buy one.
पहले तो मैं सब्जी बेचता था।
सब्जी बेचते थे।
फिर ये रिक्शा ले लिया, वो गाड़ी चलाता था, ऑटो।
और अब आपने ये बैटरी वाली गाड़ी खरीदी है।
हाँ जी।
कितने की आई आपकी ये गाड़ी?
ये गाड़ी जी 1.25 की बता रहे थे। लोन पे भी है, कैश भी दिया था।
कितना लोन लिया आपने?
70,000 रुपए लोन लिया था।
बैटरी वाली गाड़ी का क्या फायदा?
इससे यही फायदा, आराम का काम है, आराम से अपना बैठे बैठे करते रहो। दिन में कमा लेते 400, कभी 300।
अच्छा, डिपेंड,
कभी 500, कभी ज्यादा भी हो जाता।
तो आपको ये ज्यादा अच्छा लगा है, और एक तो आराम का आराम है।
हाँ।
अच्छा, मेंटेनेंस का भी ज्यादा नहीं है,
कुछ नहीं है
इसमें खाली 4-5 रुपए की बिजली लगती है।
हाँ जी।
तो अब आप खुश हैं?
हाँ जी।
With e-rickshaw, there are two serious problems. One, they can neither move with cycle rickshaws, nor can they compete with fast-moving buses and trucks.
Adds Madhu Kishwar.
As a result, there's more chaos. Secondly, batteries are certainly not eco-friendly. And if you go and see some of our slums where they are recycling these batteries, they're breaking them down in very unsafe, hazardous conditions. Acid is pouring out in order to extract the little bit of metal and little bit of whatever reusable material there is. Believe you me, it's an ecological disaster. And therefore, to present them as an eco-friendly mode is not to see the long-term consequences of this. Thirdly, it moves fast enough, but it doesn't have any safety standards. It's totally untried, unregulated, though it moves fast enough to cause serious accidents.
Forget a roof over their heads. There are lakhs of rickshaw pullers in Delhi and other cities who have to look for public facilities to ease themselves. Many of them get addicted to drugs or turn alcoholics, perhaps to forget their miserable existence. In such a situation, dare they even dream of a life of dignity?
मेरा नाम राहुल है, मैं बिहार का हूँ, रहने वाला। फुटपाथ सेक्टर 10 की 6 और 10 की लाल बत्ती पे उधर ही रहते हैं। मेरी वाइफ है। अच्छा। मैं हूँ, रोड पे रह रहे हैं, डेरा बना रखे हैं।
बीवी क्या करती है आपकी?
बीवी जी गुब्बारा बेचती है ना, खिलौना। हाँ जी, गरीब इतना हूँ, टांग में इतना चोट लगा हुआ है, अभी तक मैं इलाज नहीं करवा रहा हूँ, पैसे नहीं हो पा रहा है, चल नहीं पा रहा हूँ। बीबी की भी तबीयत खराब है तो उसको भी देख रहा हूँ।
अभी क्वार्टर लगा लिया?
अब थक जाते हैं तो 1 क्वार्टर लगा लिया।
अच्छा।
मैं जो रिक्शा चलाता हूँ इसका मेरा खर्चा चलता है।
अच्छा, बीवी का पैसा जोड़ देते?
और वो बीवी अपना पैसा जमा कर लेती है।
जमा करके क्या करोगे?
बच्चे के लिए। अच्छा, उनके भविष्य। हाँ जी, एक लड़की है।
बच्चे को भी तुमने फुटपाथ पे रखा हुआ है?
नहीं जी, उसको हमने अपनी बहन के पास रख रखा है, क्योंकि वो बिगड़ जाएगी यहाँ पे, वो भी भीख मांगने लग जाएगी, और मैं तो वैसे भी मेहनत कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, तो इसलिए बीवी को मैंने बोल दिया हूँ, ये पैसे ना तेरे काम का आएगा ना मेरे काम का, ये पैसे आएगा बच्ची के काम का, तो उसके पैसे वो खुद ही जोड़ के रखती है।
Will Sukoon give them some sukoon and reduce their drudgery and indignity? Will the government and civil society wake up to the misery of these men who live hundreds of miles away from home to provide their children with education and a future which they themselves were denied?
दिन खाली खाली बर्तन है, दिन खाली खाली बर्तन है, और रात है जैसे अंधा कुआं। इन सूनी अंधेरी आंखों में आंसू की जगह आता है धुआं। जीने की वजह तो कोई नहीं, मरने का बहाना ढूंढता है। এমন দেশে মোদের জীবন কাটে গরু ঘোড়ার মতো মানুষ খাটে কেউ ভাবে না যে বসে খায় কেউ খেটেও শুকায় একই শুধু নিয়তির খেলা
एक ही शुधु न्योतिर खेला asks the song about the Kolkata rickshawala. Is this mere destiny? Kyo bhabe na je? Does the Bengali Bhadralok even think of his plight? Is he perceived as a draft animal or a part of the machine that he propels? Yes, they all agree that plying of human-pulled transport in this century is inhuman, a blot on the face of their metropolis. Yet, they do not wish it away. Shankarlal Bhattacharjee explains.
I still think it's quite inhuman, a man pulling other humans. But Calcutta cannot do without it. That's another point, because we have 25,000 rickshaw pullers. But how to accommodate these 25,000 people? Because already we are going through a lot of economic problems. I mean, so much of layoffs from different companies. Industry isn't growing the way it was supposed to. And the streets are very waterlogged at least 3 months of the year. Even today, Kolkata is so much dependent on rickshaws. And for short distance traveling, for aged people, for women, I think they are still very necessary.
In 2006, the West Bengal government proposed a ban on the hand-pulled rickshaws. But in the absence of a viable alternative income, these poor men had no choice but to knock on the door of the courts. The case is still pending, even as the government is looking for options that could reduce the drudgery of the pulled rickshaw. In Delhi, Manushi Sangathan had filed a petition in the High Court challenging the draconian cycle rickshaw laws and regulations. On 11th February 2010, the High Court delivered a historic verdict in this case. The last word comes from Madhukishwar of Manushi.
While we won the case in the High Court and the Supreme Court, whereby confiscation of rickshaws has been declared unconstitutional, the law that mandated that a person can own only one rickshaw, which he must pull himself, and which can be confiscated if he gives it to anyone else to pull, that has been declared unconstitutional. The court has also said that it is mandatory for the city government that separate road space be allocated, as is actually already mandated in the Delhi Master Plan. But they won't do it. In 2001, Prime Minister Vajpayee had announced a new liberal policy in response to our public hearings and reports that he read. He announced what I consider a historic policy, liberalizing the whole licensing procedure. But instead of implementing that policy, the municipal corporation and the police actually turned even more vindictive. I don't know how many people are aware that the cycle rickshaw sector, we calculated in the year 2001-2002, they are paying close to 400 crore a year by way of bribes to the city authorities in Delhi alone. So you can well imagine how the restrictive licensing policies is actually sucking the lifeblood of the poor.
tung 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 घंटी बाजे सवारी होके जल्दी चलाओ ओरा बोझे ना जे पेटेर टाने मोरा पीछे मानुष बोई तबु जोटे कोई दुटी बेला रिक्शा चलाई मोरा रिक्शावाला रिक्शा चलाई मोरा रिक्शावाला रिक्शा चलाई मोरा रिक्शावाला रिक्शा चलाई मोरा